a strong immune system is one of the best things you can do for your child, and this is because if they have a strengthened immune system, they're able to fight off illnesses. It reduces the severity of illness, it shortens the duration of illness, and it reduces their chances of picking up any and every viral illness, and also reduces the chances of you going to the ER or to the doctor's office. So if you're going to build a strong immune system, you need to understand the gut and the digestive health. So it may interest you to know that 70 to 80% of your child's immune system is located in the gut. So one of the ways you can strengthen your child's immune system is understanding gut health, understanding gut-friendly food, and understanding how to support a healthy gut and digestive system. So in this video, you're going to be learning different strategies that you can employ to build a strong immune system for your child. Now, one of the first things, like I said, is gut health. And I'm going to sit down here for a little bit because that is where 70 to 80% of your child's immune system is. Now, the first thing we need to understand about gut health is the gut health is simply understanding your child's digestive system. So from the choice of the food they eat to how this food is being absorbed into this body, and to how the food, and to what the food does to the gut lining, those are things that are very critical for you to understand. So we want to start by making sure that if your child is below 6 months, of course, they are either having breast milk or formula, and there is nothing much to worry except there are other things, affecting the gut, maybe like the choice of the formula or the mom's diet, but that would be something you may have to, work one-on-one with, a care provider or a pediatrician. But I'm talking about now your child is 6 months and above, they are eating. One of the ways you can support your child's immune system, regardless of the age, is the food they eat. Now, if your child is between the 6 to 24 months mark, you may want to be a little bit more intentional about the kind of food they are eating. And so the first thing is you want to make sure that they are eating gut-friendly foods, and you want to make sure that you are limiting foods that do not support the gut. So for example, foods that are high in sugar, foods that are full of processed food, junk food, food that are filled up with seed oils, may not be things that will be good for the gut, especially if the gut is still at the developing stage, and we're talking about within the 6 months to that 1 year mark, their gut is literally still developing. So you want to introduce lots of foods that will strengthen the gut, seal the walls of the gut, and ensure that your child has a strong immune system. So one of my top, favorite gut-friendly foods are probiotic-rich foods. They are foods that are rich in probiotics, foods that are high in a variety of vitamins, healthy fats, foods that are, and some of these foods are like sauerkraut, we're talking about kefir, we're talking about fermented foods, lacto-fermented vegetables, we're talking about fermented foods, we're talking about things like bone broth, meat stock, beef liver, foods that are nourishing and they offer a variety of good bacteria to the gut and also nourishment to the gut. Now, secondly, you also want to target immune boosting foods. So I just talked about gut-friendly food, but most of the times, if a food is gut-friendly, it is also immune boosting, but there are foods that are really targeted for the immune system. So for example, foods that are high in vitamin C, you can get that in sauerkraut as well, but you can get them from fruits and vegetables. We're talking about foods that are high in healthy fats, and it's literally the same thing. So I would say that gut-friendly foods are also immune boosting foods. So, and then you may also want to think about supplementation. But going back to supporting the gut with nutrition, one of the things you want to understand is your choice of food, the way, the source of the food, the way you prepare this food play a huge role in your child's digestion. So some food will do well in the gut if they are fermented. Some foods will do well in the gut if they are soaked. For example, let's look at foods like nuts, seeds, or beans, legumes, lentils. Some of those foods contain what we call anti-nutrients. And anti-nutrients, I would call them peptic acid, and it reduces the bioavailability of the food. So what I'm trying to say here is we want to make sure that we prepare this food in such a way that it is easy to digest. So we want to make sure that we prepare the food in a way that the bioavailability is high and that food is able to digest properly. So if the food is not able to digest, it will definitely not support your child's gut health. So you want to think about, how can I prepare food? So there are different ways. There is fermenting, there is soaking, there is sprouting, there is the regular cooking. But some foods need some kind of preparation. And in my book here, Nourish and Flourish, I talk a lot about how you can prepare foods for your child, foods that you need to soak, some foods you need to ferment, and this will really teach you a lot about nutrition and how to support your child's gut health. So just to recap on that, because I know I said a lot, number one, you need to choose gut-friendly foods, immune-boosting foods, foods that are nutrient-dense, foods that are filled with a variety of minerals, vitamins. You also need to reduce processed foods, added sugars, artificial dyes, and seed oils and foods that would harm the gut. Okay, and then I also talked about food preparation for some foods that are high in pesticides, like foods that are heavily sprayed pesticide, for example, like strawberries. You may need to source or buy organic just to reduce the pesticides that your child may be consuming, and so you may want to source for your foods differently. I talk about that a lot in my book here, how to source for foods. So that's something you will want to consider. And also you will want to consider food preparation. So the way you prepare this food also helps your child's gut health. So the next thing is supplementation, and I'm going to talk about supplementation as the last, as like this other part, because you cannot supplement a bad diet. So if, for example, your child is only eating fries every day, that may not be, supplements may not do so much. Now, it is better than nothing, but we want to fix the first part before the second part. Now, if you're able to fix their nutrition and you know that in a day they're able to get some nourishing foods in, then you can evaluate and say, okay, in a week, these are some areas where we are lacking, right? So for example, if you know their diet is low in probiotic rich foods, maybe they're not having enough yogurt, or they are not having enough sauerkraut, or foods that are high in probiotic, you can consider a probiotic supplement. But the thing is, you cannot supplement for everything, right? You can consider a multivitamin or an essential immune support, but you don't want to offer vitamins or supplements at the expense of nutrition. It will not work that way. So I always advise my clients, family, friends that let us, ensure that their nutrition is in place, and before thinking about supplements. Supplements are not bad. I have them, but I use them only when I can see that, okay, in this area we are not really having enough, so I can add. And some supplements are much more needed when there is a winter season and there is a viral illness going on, and you just want to increase the vitamins and minerals that so that the immune system can be more stronger and is able to fight. Okay, and then we also have other forms of support for the immune system. So things like cream, you can use magnesium cream, you can use vitamin D cream. I use and these are topical creams that you can apply on your child. So there is vitamin D cream, which is very good for winter seasons. There is the magnesium cream, which supplies a whole lot of minerals into their bodies. There is an essential immune support that we use, and that has lots of essential oils that will support your child's immune system. And the next thing is sleep. Yes, there is you need to ensure that your child gets enough sleep. So sleep is really going to help them repair body tissues. It's also going to help strengthen their immune system. So ensure that they have a good sleep routine. And the final one here is, can you guess what it is? Is ensure they go outdoors. Yes, I know sometimes we live a lifestyle where it's either from the car into the house, but as much as you can, every day, every other day, as your schedule permits, please ensure they go outdoors to play. Sitting down in front of a screen every day will not help them. You need to allow them go out. Sometimes allow them go out barefooted and just get some grounding in. Sometimes allow them play, outside. Allow them go on a ride, take a walk, or do a bike ride. But just make sure that they are engaged physically. Or you guys can go to the park. But those will actually, that as little as that, you think they're having fun, but it is that exercise, that moving the body would also help build their immune system. I have said so much in 10 minutes and I hope you understand, but just a quick recap. We talked about gut-friendly foods, nutrient-dense foods, we talked about immune boosting foods, preparing foods to ensure that it is very digestible to your child. We talked about immune boosting supplements, and there is just to talk about immune boosting supplements, elderberry is also a great immune boosting supplement. You can add that a couple of times a week, but remember that this video is not medical advice. You may still need to speak to your doctor to get a peculiar or a curated supplementation for your child. This is just to educate you on things you can do, lifestyle changes you can improve on to be able to build your child's immune system. And do not forget that sleep and outdoor play is also a very inexpensive way of making sure that your child has a strong immune system. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great year ahead. Bye bye.